Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Joe Kort. I'm the founder, director, and psychotherapist at the Center for Relationship Health in Royal Oak, Michigan, right outside Detroit. Today, we're going to talk about sex and porn not being an addiction. That's right. We're going to talk about 8 reasons people struggle with out of control sexual behavior, 8 reasons that people struggle with sexual compulsivity that have nothing to do with addiction. We have no research that is definitive in any way that sex can be any type of addiction. In fact, we have research that supports the opposite. And so I understand, though, when clients come in, the low hanging fruit online is sex addiction. If you find your partner in a sexual violation of an agreement between the two of you, if you feel you're violating your own agreements, it's so easy to get online and look it up and go and see, oh, I'm a sex addict. Now I know what my problem is and now I know what to do. Unfortunately, that's not going to resolve your problem. For 25 of my 41 years as a psychotherapist, I did sex addiction treatment. It was unhelpful to my clients. I identified as one myself, and it was unhelpful to me. So we're going to talk about what is helpful. So number one reason is affect dysregulation. People that struggle with emotional dysregulation. So now they're dependent on sex. They habituate their behavior onto sex because sex is a sure thing and it makes you feel good. And so now I'm managing my emotions. I'm masking my emotions through sexual behavior. So through therapy, you learn to manage your emotions. You learn cognitive behavioral skills. You may need psychotropic medication. You learn DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, different ways to help manage your emotions so you don't have to turn to sexual behaviors. Number 2, intimacy and attachment disorders. People who are highly anxious, highly avoidant. Pornography is so much easier. It never says no. It never judges you. You turn it on when you want. You turn it off when you want. You don't have to worry about any performance. If you're unhappy, you go to the next clip. You go to the next webcam person. It's like the good mother. It's right there for you. Partners are different. They're going to judge you. They're going to have different thoughts about you. You're going to have performance issues. You're going to have anxiety about interacting with them. You're going to avoid it. And so in doing so, sex and porn can be a great way of doing that, but it doesn't help. And it really isn't a great way to do it. It's an instant way to do it. It's an easy way to do it. Therapy helps you understand attachment issues and learn healthy attachment ways in dealing with partners so that you can still watch porn if you want. You could still do your sexual behavior, but you would have agreements with your partner and you would have healthier attachments. Number 3, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. There are many people that simply have OCD and it's attached to sexual behaviors. So sadly, they're engaging over and over again and experiencing loss of control and feeling loss of control over their thoughts, over their behaviors because it's OCD. So they need OCD intervention from a therapist that's trained in it, maybe medication, cognitive behavioral therapy, so that you can manage it rather than it managing you. Number 4, childhood sexual abuse. We know we have really good research on this now, many years of this, and research clinically that show that people that have been sexually abused as children, when they grow up, if it's untreated and unhealed, will engage in hypersexual behavior. Trauma reenactment. They return to the scene of the sexual crime compulsively. They're doing this because the brain is saying, let's go back and fix this. Let's reenact this with another adult, of course, and let's try to repair this. But it doesn't get repaired that way. Repair is doing the sexual abuse survivor work with your therapist so that you're no longer dependent. You can go from trauma reenactment to trauma play. I have a whole article about that on Psychology Today and a whole video on that right here on YouTube. Number 5, coming out. Coming out later in life, people experience what we call a gay adolescence, a lesbian adolescence, a bisexual adolescence. It's a delayed adolescence that they didn't get in childhood. They didn't get during their adolescence. And we know that when somebody hits puberty and they're in their adolescence, you're going to see hypersexuality. It comes with the territory. It's the job description of teenagers. And so if you say to a teenager, you got to stop doing this. You have to stop this. They're not going to be able to stop doing this. This is their job. They're integrating and they're coming into their own around their romantic orientation, around their sexual orientation, around their erotic interests and orientation. The same thing happens, only now you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s. I've had people in their 70s go through their delayed adolescence. And if you label them as a sex addict, you're just shaming somebody. You're pathologizing something that's normal for this person. And the work is helping them integrate their lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender identity. 6, Some people just have a high sexual desire, high. And it might be too high for you, but it isn't too high for them. And so sadly, we pathologize people with high sex drives and we say, well, you're having too much. But who decides what's too much? You, the therapist, the partner, the religion, the culture? Who's deciding this? Only the person themselves can decide this. Sadly, if you pathologize this person and you tell them their high sex drive is too high, now you're going to move to number 7, which is shame. Shame, sexual shame, will turbocharge any sexual behavior and cause you to experience out of control, problematic, compulsive behavior. So what you want to do is help people get rid of their shame. And we have a great line in the sex therapy field. If you go to war with your sexuality, you'll cause shame and you'll lose and cause more chaos in your life than when you started. I feel like my work every single day with all my clients is get rid of the shame. I'm a shame eliminator kind of thing. You don't want to have shame attached to your sexuality because it will influence it and cause it potentially to experience out of control and problematic behaviors. And number 8, kinky sexual behaviors. Sadly, they're still called paraphilias. Paraphilias are in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual in the psychological handbook that we use to diagnose people. The issue is paraphilias are really just kinks and fetishes that people have. And when you have a kink or a fetish, it can be very rigid, it can feel very compulsive, and you can feel very driven to do that kink and to do that fetish. And often it's because just like people who are vanilla are people that just aren't kinky, right? They might just like the missionary position. They like to do oral and manual and kissing and intimacy. And so they're not at odds with that, right? And there's many different ways of manifesting that. When somebody's kinky, they have a limited way that they like to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. When someone has a fetish, they have a limited way in dealing with that. Now, sometimes people who have like a sock fetish or underwear fetish, a shoe fetish, they have to learn how to not get rid of that, but add to their sexual repertoire so that they can include people. Not everybody wants to be with people. Some people are fine with just themselves. They're asexual and they like the garments. They like the way their sexuality is. But if they're a client that is allosexual, right? The opposite of asexual, people who want to have sexual lives with other people, you normalize the kink, you normalize the fetish, you don't pathologize it because the truth is there's nothing wrong with them. So these are just 8 reasons why somebody would not be a sex addict. We can go on to more reasons, but this is for this video. I think this is enough for you to get the sense that if you're struggling as a couple or an individual, the best thing you can do is go to a therapist that's trained to help you through this. We have a saying, actually. Ellen Bader is a trainer for couples therapy, and she'll say, if you forbid your partner, you'll invite secrecy. And I can't tell you how true that is. So the idea isn't to say when a partner discovers your sex life and you never told them about something and now I'm all right, I'm a sex addict, I'll go to sex addiction treatment and I'll stop all of it. That doesn't work. What works is, okay, let's look at why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is it normal for me? Can it be managed and brought into the relationship? Maybe not. I'm not sure. But that's the work. Not to pathologize one partner, but to understand it and have erotic compassion for yourself and for your partner. If you like what I'm saying, follow me here, subscribe. I hope you like this video. Hit the like button. Follow me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok and Facebook. And I hope to see more of you. Thanks for listening.